What's up, guys? And thank you for all the messages I've been getting. Just a flood of great questions coming in. And I want to go ahead and take a new approach and answer all these and keep this sort of discussion board going. I think it's really great. However, before we jump into that, I want to go ahead and acknowledge everyone in the LA area who's been experiencing these fires. My heart's out to you. We've been doing everything we can to help out, donating supplies, clothes, you name it. It's heart-wrenching. All the people affected, pets, the wildlife. It's insanity out there. So much love and blessings to everyone in the LA area. I am in California as well, Southern California, but luckily for us, we're not directly affected, but it has been quite a mess. So hearts out to you guys. Want to go ahead and jump into these questions though. Based on our the last discussion we had, fighting off negative emotions, tears, sadness, and all that stuff, there is certain protocols that are put in place, and I gotta give some serious credit to the experts that I personally have been very fond of studying and observing over the last several years. One of whom is one of the top respected minds out there right now has got to be Andrew Huberman. Funny enough, I was late to the game with social media, but he was one of the first guys I found back in, I think it was 2018 or 2019. I think 2019. But I loved his stuff. I connected with him on multiple levels outside of he's a neurobiologist and ophthalmologist at Stanford School of Medicine, and he's just a wealth of knowledge. And I've been following him pretty closely for the last several years now for a lot of reasons, but mainly he is an expert in neurobiology and ophthalmology. And for a guy like me, my traumatic brain injury, my stroke did affect my ability to see well. So as a result, I was left with a left side field cut. So in the area of my brain that was affected, the occipital lobe, there was a portion of the brain that is responsible for the whole left field of vision. So the entire 90-degree field of vision was gone for me, just absolutely toast. And it was a very hard thing to recover from, not only just visually having that aspect of your normal vision being compromised, it also affects your ability to balance, right? Because you're looking through, your lenses, and 50% of the picture's missing. It'll throw you off. That on top of the paralysis and the lack of feeling in the entire affected left side for me, it was just a huge challenge. So when it comes to following his work in particular, there's a few guys that I'd like to reference, but just for the sake of today, his observation and studies on the effect of light in the eyes first thing in the morning. It's something that I've talked about a lot, but observing sunrise or sunlight first thing in the day when the sun is low in the sky is incredible for not only setting your circadian rhythm, so our sleep cycle, but also a lot of other mental and bodily functions. There's a lot more to it. So I'm going to keep this brief, but I highly recommend you look into his work, and there's tons of, I'll go ahead and I'll attach a video that I think is really great that explains all this stuff in detail. But I've been talking about this for a long time, and I owe it to him. Funny enough, I reference him in my book because before he was out with all of his stuff, I was instinctually getting up pretty early and getting my training in. My brother would get me out of bed early. He was really cracking into me on making sure I got a good night's sleep, right? Going to bed early, but also waking up early. So by default, I was sort of accidentally following these protocols, but it makes a lot of sense on how maybe some of these struggles that we've talked a lot about and with respect to recovery snapped into form sooner rather than later for me. And I think that getting up out of bed first thing in the morning had a lot to do with it. So the early morning sunrise, the sun exposure in your eyes, it regulates hormone production, neurochemicals, things like dopamine and serotonin. Yes, it sets your circadian rhythm. I can't remember the last time I've used an alarm clock, because I just pop up every day at the same time, pretty much right in the range of 5 to 5:15 every morning, sometimes a little earlier, but it's pretty incredible. Once that sleep cycle is set in stone, how effective it is, and your internal clock, your body recognizing when it's time to wake up and go to sleep. But on top of it, it really does help your mood in so many different ways, right? So there's a whole science behind it, and I'm not an expert in any of this. I'm just telling you that there's thousands of articles about this stuff out there. And these are things that I have personally tested. I've been my own guinea pig, and these things have worked extremely well for me. So I just wanted to share that with you guys, and go ahead and check out Andrew Huberman. I'll attach a link to some great videos of his on the subject matter of early morning sun exposure and evening sun exposure, just getting light in the eyes. 5 minutes on a good, clear, sunny day, and 10 minutes on a cloudy day. It's even more important on a cloudy day, believe it or not. But I'll leave that to you guys to go deeper into research with that. But I'm going to tell you just from firsthand that it is incredible, and what it's done for me has been truly life-changing and helped my recovery immensely. And I'll just close with this. My philosophy on looking into great thinkers of our time, and like, Andrew Huberman, and there's so many others that I will go over. I've spent 15 years researching how to recover to the best of my capabilities, and he's certainly at the top of the list, but there are many others. It is incredible when you apply some of these principles to your own life. It is hard. It's difficult to snap out of your routine and your rhythm. Sometimes it's cold. You don't want to get out of bed. You don't want to do any of this stuff, but it's time to get busy. Like I said last time, it's time to, get to work. You're going to be fine. And I think you'll be delighted and quite impressed on how you're going to feel, and how your body responds, how your mind responds. And it's going to solve a lot of those emotional issues as well. It will certainly help. It's not going to hurt anything. So anyway, I will leave it at that, and keep the questions coming, guys. I love it. Let's keep this a running dialogue, and I will pay attention to some of those questions, and we'll dive into the next series of answers real soon. All right, guys. Hope all's well. Again, those of you in LA experiencing the fire, stay well, stay strong, and we'll see you guys soon. All right. Cheers.